And then we're going to light the Christ candle up here. The Christ candle signifies that Christ consciousness that burns bright within each of us as we allow that knowing to come through, as we allow that energy to come through. We know that Christ consciousness is in and flows through us, and it's represented by the candle. This month is the month of power. It's signified by purple, and it's the ability to master and have dominion. I have the power to create my world. The color is purple, and Philip is represented by that. If I could get you all now to take out this sheet that was in your program, these are our announcements. We've been working really. We've been working to bring our technology together, bring our internet together, get onto the same pages so that internally as we're commuting with each other and creating new newsletters and creating just ways to share with each other and expand that out to whoever might be interested in seeing it. We had a couple of glitches this week. So you got the whole events program that's part of the newsletter, and you should have the newsletter when you get home today. So we had the whole thing done. We had the newsletter, and then we pushed the button to send it, and it was like, nope, there's a header here missing somewhere, and it just wouldn't send. So we're a little behind on that, so we do apologize. But I'd like to really go over these announcements if I could real quick. May 17th, Mary Cincy, she's not here today. She's going to be taking us to the next step on our potlucks for the next 6 weeks and living the language of kindness. This is about learning how, continuing in the work we do and learning how to speak to each other, learning how to create that new world that we are talking about creating that we can only create from within and then within our own communities, and learning how every word that we speak and that we put out into the universe and into our own communities affects every other person because we're calling out that power. So this is the lessons where we have been trying to move forward, and then Mary Cincy showed up, and this is just really powerful work that we're going to be doing every Wednesday, and that's with our potluck. So bring a dish, something to share. We meet at 6 o'clock, 5:30 to 6, right back there. And then about 6:30, we start the classes on Wednesday. So it's really a lot of fun. Then we have Bob Sema. I just created all new sheets out there, sign-up sheets. But we have an amazing artist. Mary said she's excited about having him here too. But Bob Sema is kind of a world-renowned artist mixing kirtan and vibration and music, but he's amazing. So I invite you to please sign up. You can sign up online through the newsletter or on our calendar, or you can just go back there and sign that sheet. And once you sign that sheet, the tickets are $15 to $30 as a conscious contribution, which you can pay whatever you want. But and then, of course, no one's turned away. But please come. We'd love to have at least 50 people in this room, because this is the first kind of outside concert that we've done since I've been here. Mary is getting ready to do some classes, and they went really well, some astrology classes, so she had a lot of feedback, so we're getting ready to start those up again. Our garage sale is next Saturday, the 27th, not the Bob Sema weekend, but the next one. And so if anybody has anything in their garages or houses, please bring it this week, next week. We'll put it away the best we can. And then that Friday night before the 27th, we're going to have a kids sleepover and anybody else that wants to as well. And we're going to tag things and kind of use these comfortable chairs to sleep on, or the floors, or whatever you'd like. But we're looking at that yard sale. And that's the same time as the market that's going on, the art sale that's going on downtown. And they're going to do a parade, and it's going to end right down here at the War Memorial. So we're going to have our thing going on. And if anybody wants to just come out and sing or play, we're really not planning anything, but if anybody wants to come and play acoustic or just to kind of liven it up outside, or you are more than welcome to do that. Is that me? We have our regional, right? Welcome. That's awesome. Turn left. You found it. We're here. We found it. It's very important you're here. It's good. The Regional Youth Conference, we are having it here for the whole southern region, and that is going to be on June 9th and 10th, so that's on your sheet too. But if you have youth, anybody that wants to come to that, adults, whatever, it's going to be a regional conference right here at Unity of Blairsville, and that's coming up. Prayer chaplain training coming up. Again, please sign up. I know people have told me they want to do it, but I don't have all the names on that paper out there. So if you want to do the prayer chaplain, we're doing a soft launch of Chi Retreat Center on Monday through Facebook and on Airbnb. So we're getting ready to launch all that to invite people into the area from different Unities, Centers for Spiritual Living all around the country. So we're getting ready to really take it to the next level of our teachings and just being here and being present for people. So that is all happening. But please sign up for that prayer chaplain training. The rooms are going to be free for you if you'd like to do the prayer chaplain training with us on Friday and Saturday. That's June 23rd and 24th. So we're going to offer that so as a place for people to come together, learn how to pray together, learn what Unity's, how we teach that, and it's really going to be powerful because you'll get to spend a night together, and we're going to have a great time up at Chi House. So please come if you're called to do that. And then we've started our own food bank here. So if anybody is interested in bringing food or things that they're not using, please bring them here. We're preparing for, we want to be there for community if community needs us for anything. So we're doing that as well. Sorry, a lot of stuff there, but I wanted to go over it because we have a big month. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I need lots of help. I've got the sheet back there. You can look at me. Need a little help. But yeah, there's the sign up sheet, and we need. I am now. I need lots of help. So anybody wants to sign up and help us for at least a 2-hour shift on that Saturday or come put things out, we could really use it. And we were going to we got to put all the hot dogs together too, because we were going to do like hot dogs outside, and we got to put that kind of stuff together. So our little food committee I think we were talking about that. So we're going to have hot dogs and fun, and we'll see what happens. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Thank you. Potluck Sunday next Sunday. You don't. You always remember that one for me. That's wonderful. So, and then, and I would like to acknowledge all the volunteers. Louise is always out there at the front. We have so many volunteers making all this happen. I can't even name everybody anymore, which is, I can name you, but pointing you out in the room is a lot. So thank you all. Thank you so much for all you do. All right, as we close our eyes, we're going to go into our opening prayer. And we take a deep, deep breath. And we say, Father, Mother, God, universal, infinite, God being source, all that is. We open this beautiful space with these amazing people sitting here and we accept the love that's coming in from source into our higher self, into the Christ consciousness that we are that fills us and feeds us. And on this Mother's Day, we give such great gratitude for not only our own mothers, but for Mother Earth, for all the mothers in this room and everything that signifies the nurturing of humanity, of the elements, of the elementals, of everything that we have to give gratitude for in that nurturing energy of the mother. For without her, we could not be born. For without her, we wouldn't feel the love that is there for our taking. We say thank you, Father. We say thank you, Mother. Happy Mother's Day, and so it is. Amen. All right, and now for our daily word. Jennifer?
Good morning. My name is Jennifer, and today's daily word is about motherly love. I bless all mothers in my prayers. Nurturing and caring for anything loving being is a sacred activity. Today, I take the opportunity to give thanks for all who have shared unconditional love and acceptance with me. A mother can be anyone who takes on a role of caring for a child or any other being it living or inanimate, whether that person is a biological or adoptive parent, another relative, a teacher, or a friend, or anyone else we like to be with. The most important aspect of being a mother is to love and care for a child or anyone else unconditionally. Patience and compassion are mainstays of these expressions of love in action. Just as caring mothers hold loved ones in their arms, so too do they hold them in my prayers. And our Bible statement is from Ephesians. I had to ask my own mother about how to pronounce that properly. Honor your mother and father. This is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may be well with you and you may live long on the earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now, if we'll take just a minute, think about people that aren't with you, maybe your mother, maybe you'd like to send a prayer out. Our prayer box is sitting on right behind Luisa's head outside. Feel free to take and write any prayer requests that you might have into the prayer box. That is sent up to Unity, where it's prayed over for 30 days, as it has been being done for over 100 years at the Unity Village. If we could say with me, our statement of truth. One power, active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, the omnipotent. And now we've got some special music, and Josh is going to brief us on that.
Good morning, everyone. So, I kind of wanted to share this song, and I decided, Bates and I discussed it, I thought it'd be great to lead into meditation with this song. The song is Let Me Fall. And it makes me think of, we had a speaker at Unity of the North talk about how being in the flow is kind of like a free fall. When you're not holding on to all your attachments, when you're not holding on to anything and you just kind of fall with God. And you have that. So it's like when you're a kid, you want to seek excitement, you kind of want that little bit of danger, that little excitement. And so a lot of us have learned to be really afraid of that. So what I would like to do is if we could start out with 3 ohms. If everyone would like to close their eyes or not. And we'll do 3 ohms, and then after the ohms, I'll start the track there and sing the song. And then we'll go into silence. Someone I am is waiting for courage. The one I want, the one I will become, will guide me. So let me fall if I must fall. I won't need your warnings. I won't hear. just enough.
And in this beautiful state of meditation, please repeat the Lord's Prayer as you say it and as you know it. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine is done, on earth as it is in heaven. Oops, sorry. And we are forgiven our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And we are led not into temptation, and we are delivered from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. So it is. Amen. We've been talking about the 12 powers, and when Charles, we covered the first 4 of those powers. We're going to go through those real briefly, and today we're going to cover 3 more powers, because if I give them all to you at one time, and you were like sitting in a class that I was in for like 2 weeks on this stuff, and you're just trying to grasp it, what Charles Fillmore says is typically a traditional religious person who hasn't studied metaphysics in this work will find this information extremely difficult to understand. For the simple fact it takes a lot of opening, because we're not looking at anything literally anymore. So when, next please. Myrtle Fillmore, and again, I'm just going to repeat this to get us back into that headspace of where we were last week, but Myrtle Fillmore says we have been led to believe we are the children of physical parents. Yeah, they physically brought us here. But as the children of God, we have taken a moment to wake up and realize we are God's children, and that God is the very intelligence that is within us. That's pretty powerful. Next, please. Once we begin to realize who we are, we begin feeling the power that is within us. And I'm going to just kind of run through this because this is what we did last week. The purpose of your life is to express your true divinity. When you realize there is nothing for you to fear and be happy, you awaken. The individual must be awakened to realize the pattern of perfection is implanted within each of us. Once this awakening begins to be present within us, we can begin to work on the 12 powers. That's when we can really begin to focus in on this work that we're talking about today. Next, please. Myrtle Fillmore says it's like we are in this room, and then as we turn our intentions within and work on our own 12 powers, the room, and it just changes, and it's like we step into the next room. And while we were in this room, we're figuring out what's going on. Who are the people? Who are the players? What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? And this is the consciousness of this room. As we begin to enliven these powers, it's like we step through that door and into a larger room filled with a lot more information that we haven't yet discovered. We don't yet know how to answer those questions. We don't even know what questions to ask. Brand new thinking. And every time we make these steps, we step into the next room. And we have to look at it, because what we thought we knew no longer holds to be that truth. That truth evolves and changes into something new. Next, please. How do we claim our oneness with the infinite invisible? The 12 powers and expressions. Next, please. The first one we did, and I'm just going to go by the names. I'm not going to go into this because it'll get too confusing if we do. So the first one is faith. Then the next one, strength. The next one, please. It's wisdom. And then the next one is love. We covered these 4. I'm not going to go into the details on those because I want to focus on what's next. So Joshua, can we go on to the next screen, please? And then we talk about dominion. I am so grateful that we're getting to do this work because I'm getting to go and study it again. I'm getting to experience this stuff before I bring it to you all again because I'm honing my own intelligence, my own wisdom is coming through about what I'm hearing. But dominion, road, it's purple. It comes from the root of the tongue is where it is. And you can think of what that larynx position is so that when we speak those words, we begin to understand. The ability to harmonize, unify, and attract. Now, what I'd like to do is read a little bit about dominion from the 12 powers. And there's a couple of different readings I liked that I wanted to do on this. We did dominion as power. So, The 12 Powers of Man, this was written by Charles Fillmore. Extremely powerful book. As I'm reading this and listening to it, the things that he's saying 100 years ago are what we're hearing now. And it's becoming so much more mainstream in whatever media you choose to find it. You go look on the 12 Powers on YouTube, you're going to be able to get this book downloaded to you and you can just listen to it. But it's powerful, and you're hearing things that people don't really talk about from Charles Fillmore. We are beginning to now in this conscious awakening that's happening. Power. It follows that every kind of human industry must be carried forward by a power that recognizes the divine law. Man is the power of God in action. To man is given up the highest power of the universe, the consciousness power of thought. There is a universal creative force that urges man forward to a recognition of the creative power in his individual thought, like the rooms we were talking about, right? Stepping into the next room. This force is elemental, and all its attributes come under the dominion of man. When he cooperates with divine principle, man sits on the throne of his authority, and the elemental force is subject to him. When you look at the word power or dominion, that's not, again, what we were taught in the world. To be dominant over other human beings, to have power over what they're doing. That is not what power is about in divinity. That is not the 12 powers. It takes us from the place, like we talked about last week, of we're born in generation. Degeneration occurs. We learn man's law. We learn what this thing called power is to us, and it becomes dominion over man as part of our life, as part of that ego. And then the degeneration occurs. And that's the degeneration. That's learning man's way. That's not learning the divine way. That's not allowing it to flow through because we close it off. We conform to the world around us, and then that power becomes something of ego for a minute. For a minute. And for some, that will last an entire lifetime. And we see those things happening in the world around us, but that is not what we are here to do, right? We're not coming here to perpetuate anything that is of dominion over man or animal or plant or rock. We're coming here so that that dominion can be over ourselves. So that dominion can be the power to reach within, pray, meditate, use our conscious awareness to bring through the one consciousness and see what that looks like. When we see what that begins to look like, that is not the ego over dominion of anything. It is the oneness, that Christ consciousness flowing through this that begins to teach us what that dominion can look like. The next room. The next place. I'm going to now in the revealing word. This puts it a little more succinctly. Power and dominion. So when you look at the 12 powers, they use two words. They use dominion and power. They go together. Dominion is the supreme authority, sovereignty, in the Webster Dictionary. As a perfect child of God, man is born to complete dominion over all creation. all creation. Dominion is an inner consciousness obtained only through mind discipline, meditation, and prayer. It's the only way we can get there. We can't dream it up and just go do it, because then we're working in man's law. Dominion and power comes through the law of the divine, a completely different place. The light and the dark. That duality. This super authority comes as man realizes his oneness with the Father. Charles was talking about in my listening and reading books, we talk about this energy and this movement. And something that came to me last night was sometimes we think of that as up and down because we've been programmed to think heaven up, down. But that's not what we're talking about with divinity. And Charles Fillmore talks about this in this book, or in that book. He talks about it's an energy frequency. Literally, he calls it electronics rather than we might call it frequency now, but he's using it's the same idea. So what happens is if you're using power and the electric circuits in your mind and your soul are beginning to interact together, what begins to happen is we begin to destroy our inner workings with that electronic power if we're using it for man's purposes. We become confused. We become agitated. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. And it gets worse and worse and worse until we come to the realization of the alignment of these frequencies and allowing them just to flow in, out, and through us. Not get stuck here, us having to do anything. But that is moving us. Where is it moving? It's not moving us up or down. It's moving us forward. Think of stepping into that next box. And every time you step into that next box, you're stepping into a higher frequency of understanding. And in that place is where the divine laws come into action through your manifestation. Next, please. This is just dominion. I wanted to show y'all what this looks like. The 12 powers, a lot of people will say, oh, this kind of looks like the chakras. Of course, there aren't 12 chakras, but there are these energy centers, and they work together with the way that it's designed when you really get into these studies, is these are grouped together: love and wisdom, strength and release, order and life. But when we're looking at power, it's right here and it's purple. So it's next, please. And this is just kind of giving you an idea. And again, don't even try to take all this in. Please, just look at the pictures and observe what we're talking about. Imagination. Imagination is, I'm going to read out of the Revealing Word what imagination is. The faculty of the mind that images and forms the power to shape and form thought. The imaging faculty presides at the nerve center between the eyes. Through this faculty, the formless take form. With our imagination, we lay hold of ideas and clothe them with substance. The body is the product of the mind. What man pictures or imagines in his mind will eventually appear in his body. So when we imagine it, someone would call it crystallizing, even though that's a little bit of a scary word, because once it crystallizes, it's formed. So you have to change it again. So we allow that shift to continue to move forth as we continue to evolve. But if we imagine it, it's going to appear up in our life. Now, if you're using the power and the faith and the stuff in man's world, what are you going to get? You're going to get something you don't want. But when you take these next step in your spiritual work and you use these powers only for good, they cannot be used for you. You'll be given what they are to be used for by allowing them to come through, and then you do them in service. You don't do it for you. If you do this for you, Charles Fillmore warns, don't. You won't like what you get. Right? Do we get it? Are we understanding? This is what flows through us. This is the way we're changing the world. This is why we're coming to be spiritually fed on a regular basis, because what we do in service. All the rest comes to us by following and working on these 12 powers. Next, please. Imagination. And it works with understanding. We're going to go to understanding next. These two work together. So when we go into understanding and knowing, God is supreme knowing. An understanding in the spiritual world, in this place where we are evolving to, brings about knowing. When you know it and you imagine it, it first comes through as a knowing, my friends, right? If it's not a knowing, it's a thinking. So in man's world, we think it. And we can think anything into existence we want to think into existence. But that's our thinking. That's ego doing it. When we take it into understanding, we opened ourselves up, we received a message, we now know it. Oh my gosh, this is my truth. This is what I'm here to do. This is how I'm doing it. And that knowing becomes the understanding. And that comes from the higher realm within us. That's where, do you see, this is how we're creating the world, or we're not creating it, or we're creating a new world, a new way of being, a new community, a new way of doing, because we're seeing clearly because we are working the powers. We're not reading them and taking what we learned to be power or dominion or understanding or imagination and using it fruitlessly. We are planting good seeds this way. Now, every seed that we plant through our mind, through our consciousness that we're working together with, we may throw it under the ground and it may produce and it may not. But what we're trying to do is build fertile ground in what's coming through. And if we do this together, if we pull it through the one mind of who we are, and then we do things like, the way we relate to that is, let's serve Bob Sema, for example, a concert coming up that can heal through the music and inspire everyone in the room. That's good work. Because the work, and why do we support our artists? Why do we love them? Because the music they bring forth is inspiring and it touches many, 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 many hearts. It's those kind of things that we're doing, that we're working toward in community, and that's what makes what we're doing so beautiful. I'd like for you to take a moment, and if you would like, I heard something really powerful last night, and it was about baptizing ourselves in these powers. So, Josh, can you take it back to that other screen with all the colors on it, on the body, please? Yeah. There's something called baptizing the 12 powers within us. And when we baptize those 12 powers and we consciously call that in, the other stuff begins to float away. And we begin to use these powers the way they are meant to be used. So I would like to call out just a cleansing, a baptizing for all of the powers that are within us. And I'm going to name them. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And if you want to participate, participate. If you don't, take your mind somewhere else, please. Take your heart somewhere else for a moment. But I would invite you in because this is good work. This is powerful work. So in the name of my holy consciousness, in the name of all that I am, that is God, all that I am, that is Source, I baptize myself now in the understanding of the true divine will flowing through me, of the understanding and the power that I truly have access to. I baptize myself in the imagination process of who I am and what thoughts come through so that I can manifest them out of source, out of the one mind, out of the one being that we all. I baptize the power of love within my heart. And through that, I see so clearly. I baptize wisdom, order, and life within my consciousness. So that what appears in my life is clear, bringing me joy, peace, ease in all the work I do. Abundance. I baptize faith, enthusiasm, and the power within me. I call upon the highest that I am, that I may be cleansed of anything that is not of those of the higher realm of divinity. And finally, I baptize strength and release within myself. In these 12 powers, I become whole. I clear my understanding more and more each and every day as I pray, as I meditate, as I use affirmations, and as I use denials. I ask myself these questions now, and I know I am whole. And so it is. Thank you. We will continue the next powers next week.